Voyard, an exploration of what collaborative Fakemon projects can really be. It's a region based on pirates and island adventures and built on the idea of a bunch of people coming together to make something really cool. Welcome back, trainers. You're with PewterCityJim, and today we're looking at another set of monsters for Voyard. I've done 2 videos so far featuring Voyardian designs, and I go into more detail about the project there. If you're interested, I have some links and resources in the description that you can check out as well. Meanwhile, on this channel in general, we do a bunch of Let's Play stuff, both fan-made and canon games, plus we have our very own Fakemon region by the name of Sola. It's based on Southern California and some of the surrounding areas and has nearly 100 designs so far. If any of that sounds like fun to you, I'd love it if you could swab the deck with a like, blast the subscribe button with the starboard cannons, and call "Avast ye bilge ratata" in the comments. Remember, trainer, ye are welcome here. So, I mentioned in my last video on Voyard that I was doing a bit of a collaboration within a collaboration with my buddy, the Iron Templar. Super great guy, and one of the most creative monster designers I've ever had the pleasure of chatting with. He had initially picked a prompt for the alligator gar, but got busy enough that he was happy to pass off the prompt to me. He even had sketches done for how he would have liked the line to look. Initially, they were based on the Old Name New Mon challenge. For those unfamiliar, that's where you take an existing Pokemon name and reimagine it as a new Pokemon. In this case, Garchomp. Gar like the fish, and Chomp because of those big jaws. Anyway, here's the Voyard prompt as written. Alligator gar, regional fish, water dragon. This scaly fish has a goofy appearance, but don't let that fool you, it is pretty strong. Alligator gar look like this. You can see the reason for the name in the shape of the face. That big, long snout just filled with teeth. They're considered to be pretty primitive, as they've got some features of fish from millions of years ago that really haven't changed much. A good example of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like, the scales are hard and they're covered with an enamel coating. This means that they really don't have a lot of natural predators. Kinda reminds me of Magikarp, actually. Remember Meowth busting his teeth trying to eat James's Magikarp? Good times, good times. Well, not for Meowth, I guess. Weirdly enough, another thing to prevent predation against the alligator gar is that their eggs are poisonous. The deadliest caviar. Anyway, much like Magikarp, this is to be Voyard's regional fish line. As such, I wanted to make this a really memorable little flip-flopper. A lot of Pokemon's fish-based creatures are, well, they're simple designs. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad, but they do get a fair bit of criticism because they're really generally pretty much just, they're just cartoon fish. Basculin, for example, was designed simply because Unova was supposed to be a soft reboot, no older Pokemon present in the region, and everyone kind of forgot to design fish Pokemon. It's kind of rough when you sort of just forget that an entire genre of Pokemon is supposed to exist within a game. I mean, someone out there was like, yeah, we need to design a Unovan equivalent to Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. Got that. Oh, and Geodude. Need one of those. Pika clone, yep, we got one of those in there. We need a jellyfish to be sort of like our tentacool line. We got that one. Regional dog and cat and early route bird. Now, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, you know what? Regional equivalent of Zubat. Woohoo! Can't believe I almost forgot one of those. 2 years later. Somebody draw me a fish right now. Launch day is tomorrow. I mean, I'm kidding, of course. Mostly, but still, many fish Pokemon are a little on the forgettable side, and I didn't want that to be the case here. One thing I noticed with Iron's original design was that the head was really Totodile-ish. Totodile always seemed like such an energetic Pokemon, and while I didn't want to make this a convergent evolution or anything, I really did want to impart some of that energy on the little guy. So the pose is like it's leaping out of the water, mouth open and tongue waving around in the breeze. I made the mouth resemble that of Totodile with the tooth placement and the little rounded end of the snout, but packaged onto a chunky little fish body. Fins are stuck out and waving around in excitement too. I just imagine this being a friendly little fish that explores the world with the only grabber it has available to it. Its mouth. Biting on things to discover their true nature because it lacks hands. I stuck with fairly realistic gar colors, that light yellow fading to an off-white, but I lined up a nice complementary purple for the accents and spots. I really wanted to do something to tie in Iron's original sketches, so I took a little sample of his pencil sketch and stretched it, cloned it, and used it as an all-over body texture for the fish. Just a super light overlay to give a bit of visual interest to the design. Normally for an aquatic Pokemon I'd use a watery texture, but this felt way more appropriate. And here we have well, it was Garchomp, but I'm not entirely sure if Voyard allows for repeated monster names, and I'm pretty sure that regular old Garchomp will be available in Voyard, so I prepared a backup name in Garab. Either way, it's the Gator Jaw Pokemon. This excitable Pokemon bites anything it can get its mouth around. Pokemon, the hulls of small boats, rocks, anchors, fallen logs, and the occasional human leg. However, they bite to explore their world, not to hurt. Only if their teeth were duller and their bite strength was weaker, they would find making friends easier. It's a water type at this stage. Just a cute little fishy friend that wants to meet you, not eat you. Abilities are Swift Swim, boosts speed in rain, a water type classic. Hydration, this heals status elements if it's raining. Looking like a good Pokemon to teach Rain Dance to, huh? The hidden ability is Dragon's Maw. This powers up Dragon-type moves. Thus far only Regidrago has that ability, and it might be a little OP for a regional fish, but between the Dragon typing in the evolution and a focus on the mouth, it seems super fitting to me. Alligator in the wild are ambush predators primarily. They lie in wait for prey to get close enough before snapping it up. I wanted to include this detail in the lore of this fish. For this design, I changed the totodile-inspired mouth to look a little bit more like Feraligators. Same thing with the back fins prior to the tail. I gave them those tri-pointed mountain range kind of shapes like the back of Feraligator. Rather than the chunky body plan of the pre-evolution, this one is a big long fish like the real alligator gar. I changed the colors a little, a darker yellow for the main body and a brighter white for the underside and lower jaw. Not a massive color shift, but enough to differentiate them just a bit more. I did the same application of iron sketch texture for this one too. And here we have Gardivoir or Gargile, the gator jaw Pokemon. They will tear open anything they deem to be a threat. They prefer to stay in warmer, shallower water, but have been known to chase boats out to sea, only to bite chunks out of the hull. When hunting for food, however, they are known to be quite crafty, ambushing large prey before grabbing a meal. So we add the dragon type to water. The abilities remain the same, but it's quite a dramatic jump up in size. I wouldn't want to see one of these chasing my pirate ship. And that's what we've got for you this time, folks. Again, a massive thanks to Iron for letting me use his work as a basis for these prompts. I hope you like what I came up with, buddy. Link to Iron's Instagram in the description. By the way, we do have a few more Voyard-related things to cover. I picked up at least one more prompt, but that'll wait until next time. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, trainers. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. Bye!